As the shadow stretches across your desk and the clock ticks down to a deadline, you sit staring at the screen, entirely frozen. People often write this off as laziness, but someone who is truly lazy lacks the motivation to act and feels no internal conflict about skipping the work. If you're procrastinating, you have a high intention to finish the task, but you're trapped in a severe failure of self-regulation. You want to act, yet you're paralyzed, resulting in a cycle of intense, recurring guilt. Mislabeling this paralysis as a moral failing obscures the biological reality of the breakdown occurring within the brain's regulatory systems. This regulatory failure is a widespread phenomenon, affecting approximately 20% of the adult population and up to 95% of college students. The costs manifest in the real world as a procrastination tax, thousands lost to late payment penalties and delayed retirement savings, alongside a higher allostatic load that physically wears down the body through chronic stress. Because the consequences of delay are so clearly damaging, the behavior must be driven by an internal mechanism that consistently overrides human logic. The cycle begins with task aversiveness. When a project feels boring, ambiguous, or threatens your self-esteem through perfectionism, it triggers a surge of negative emotion. Your nervous system interprets this task-induced distress as an immediate physical threat. Inside the brain, two primary regions conflict: the amygdala, your emotional threat detection center, and the prefrontal cortex, responsible for logical planning. When a task feels threatening, an amygdala hijack occurs. The emotional center overrides logical planning, forcing you to abandon work for immediate distraction. Procrastination functions as an ingrained emotion regulation defense, prioritizing immediate relief over long-term goals. To justify this emotional escape, your brain systematically distorts your perception of time and value. This is hyperbolic discounting. The brain heavily devalues future rewards while placing irrational weight on immediate effort. This combines with the tomorrow fallacy, the cognitive delusion that your future self will possess significantly more willpower and energy than you do now. By inflating today's effort and imagining a frictionless reality tomorrow, the brain creates an environment where delaying action feels like a rational choice. These threat responses are ancient survival tools. Our brains evolved in immediate return environments where prioritizing the present moment was a necessary, survival-oriented strategy. In the modern era, however, success relies on delayed return environments, abstract goals like retirement portfolios or college degrees that offer zero immediate biological feedback. Procrastinators are experiencing a severe evolutionary mismatch, attempting to navigate long-term modern requirements using biological hardware built for immediate survival. Because we are fighting millions of years of evolutionary circuitry, relying on sheer willpower is a losing strategy. A fatigued prefrontal cortex cannot consistently overpower your survival instincts. Effective interventions use friction modification. This involves structurally altering your environment to make distractions difficult to access while removing every physical barrier to starting your work. You can also neutralize present bias through temptation bundling, coupling a highly rewarding activity exclusively with an aversive task, like only allowing yourself to listen to a favorite podcast while exercising. Another tool is using implementation intentions by creating automated if-then scripts. If it is 9 a.m. on Tuesday, then I will open my laptop and write. You trigger behaviors without requiring active cognitive effort. These tools succeed because they externalize executive function, shifting the burden of self-discipline from your willpower to your environment. Even with these systems, task delay creates a psychological hangover. The resulting guilt and self-criticism make the avoided task appear even more threatening the next time you face it. Cognitive restructuring and self-compassion disrupt this cycle. Forgiving yourself for past procrastination neutralizes the negative affect attached to the task, removing the amygdala's need to seek emotional relief through further delay. We cannot wait for motivation to generate spontaneously. By engineering our environments and forgiving our ancient biology, we can finally align our immediate actions with our long-term aspirations.